business. Today is May 6th, 2025. We are having a Rhino Herd of Atlanta impromptu team call. So, just basically going over some of the notes from Amplify, which was the convention we just had over the last couple of days. We're not going to be on here too long, just give people some moments to share their biggest ahas, their takeaways from the event, if they have any concerns or questions about what's coming up. And just to really start off, I did want to go into some of the notes that I had and observations that I had, not just from this past weekend or 4 or 5 days that I've been in the mix with Viago, but also from training that I've also had 5 years prior to this as well. I was in another company very similar, from 2015 to 2020, basically. And in that, I went to a bunch of trainings, a lot of conventions, and information is generally the same. There is a how, the system, the steps, but one of the biggest things that is going to be the make or break us is our mindset. When it comes to building a business, if we can get to the point where we know without a shadow of a doubt that what we have is the answer to the majority of problems that most people have, if we know that it is our secret, that we are only letting people in who we want to do life with, who we know not only would benefit from this, but we know would respect this. We don't want to necessarily just share this with someone who's looking to get rich quick or who would perverse the information, who'd go out and do it the wrong way, because everything is duplicatable. How we do it is how everyone else is doing it. They don't care what we say, they care how what we said made them feel. So if you say, you know, I don't care whether you get in or whether you get in or get out, like when we're inviting them, even though we know we don't need everybody, we also have to keep in mind that these are still our friends. These are still our family. These are still people that we care about. And so even when we put them on the back burner and we might, cross them off the list into the not now category, we also must not make them feel like if we talk to them that it's going to be us making them feel bad about either not joining, or not answering the phone. We want them to still pick up the phone calls when we text them. I just talked to a woman before I got on here, which was why I was a couple of minutes late, who was telling me about a woman who, when she said no, she thought they were good friends. They were making all of the, they were hanging out, they were talking. She was interested potentially in joining, taking this woman's services and her classes. And when she became a hard no, the friend stopped talking to her. She stopped being friendly. And it was like almost like she blocked her. And she thought that was kind of weird because she thought that they were actually friends and it was not, their friendship was not just transactional. But that wasn't the case for the other person. So we just need to make sure that our friendships do not become transactional, that we still respect people. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that when it comes to making our list, I know that Roy had sent out a memory jogger. I wanted to bring this up as well. An aha that I had when somebody was talking on stage was they were like, okay, well, just sign up their mama and their sister, get there too. Okay, yes. So when we're thinking about people we can sign up when we're making this list, because we need to make this massive list, phones, emails, send it to Roy. I'm still working on that. My plan is to get that to him before Friday. I want to have at least 100 people on there. 200 is the sweet spot, but I want to get at least 100. But to think about how you're going to fill these out is you want to think about, okay, who are their parents? Who are their siblings? Who are their cousins that they're actually close to and they actually talk to? If they have a job, who's their boss? Who are their favorite employees? If they're a business owner, who are their favorite coworkers if they work, a job? Who is their maid? Who is their personal trainer? Who is their chef? Who is their lawn care guy? Who is their dentist? Who is their chiropractor? Who is their acupuncture therapist? Who is their massage therapist? Who is their Um, if they have kids, who are their kids' parents? Who are their kids' teachers? Who are their kids' coaches? Um, if they play a sport, who do they play sports with? Whether, tennis, basketball, who is in their fraternity or their sorority? Who goes to church with them? These are just different categories that can kind of help you be able to jog your memory. Who did their taxes? Who's their accountant? Who's that favorite person who bags their grocery at the store? Who they always say, hey to, that cool door greeter that, just stands out to them. We want to make sure that we're really thinking outside of the box. And then even going back to, I think it was mentioned before, you want to think about the most successful people you know. Oh, who's your mechanic? I forgot about that one. Guys, or who's your insurance person? That's another one that a lot of people don't think about too, because all of these people have jobs. And then when you think about even your friends now, you don't want to talk, you don't want to start dipping into your other people's lists if you're trying to show them. However, we know more people than we think we do. You can even go down and look at your phone, go through the last text messages that you've received now. Granted, the majority of the text messages are probably going to be from us. However, look for who you were texting before that. Go on your Facebook Messenger. Who are the last people that you were messaging? Who are the last people you were messaging on TikTok or on Instagram or on LinkedIn? Who was last commenting on your statuses? All of these people are potential to go onto your list now, and you can add them onto the list. My suggestion too is to start actually engaging with these people. Um, yes, you can immediately invite them. One of the things I do like to do is to at least build some of that relationship and that rapport back as well. I have some family members I'm going to reach out to, but I want to give them a call first. So then the first call that they hear from me from, not hearing from me from a while is not just, hey, hop on this soon, because I know that they're going to want to know how I'm doing, especially because my family, we've gone through some major life changes with some deaths in the family. So it gives life shifts give you a good reason to reach out to people you've not reached out to in a long time. And I will say this just on that subject, I had a father, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, and two uncles, and my grandfather as well, all passed away within the last 4 years. The majority of those last year. So that being said, I realize that there is a huge importance in actually reaching out to your family and your loved ones and building those memories now. If you want to, that gives you just, me saying that to you right now. Even if you've not had anything traumatic happen in your life, you can say, hey, I got a friend who just told me about all these family members who died in her family. And it made me realize I need to make more memories with my people while I can. And so I'm calling you up, auntie, uncle, cousin, whoever you're calling up right now, because I want to do that. I want to get to know you more. I want our relationship to be deeper than just seeing you at Thanksgiving or Christmas. And reach out to them, really rebuild that connection. I saw my aunt. I hadn't seen her since the funeral. And I got to talk. I didn't tell her about the business immediately, but I got to telling her about how I was thinking about how I wanted to travel and make memories. And she's like, yeah, that would be nice. And I told her, you know what? Where have you always wanted to go? And she told me she wanted to go to Scotland. And I was surprised, but I was like, you know what, why Scotland? She's like, I want to see the castles. And, it seems really cool. I met someone who went there and it made me want to go too. She's like, but my husband doesn't really want to go. And I said, well, you know what? That's okay. We may just find a group of people and we'll all go to Scotland together. And she's like, yeah, that would be really cool. I asked her, when's her birthday? She said, like April 12th. I said, okay, well, my birthday gift to you, because I just missed your birthday, is I'm going to figure out how we can all go to Scotland together. And I'm going to get back to you. So I just opened the door for me to be able to call her and tell her about this without it feeling sleazy or me like trying to take advantage of anybody, because she genuinely wants to go to Scotland. And I can genuinely let her, I can show her a way where she can do that for cheaper and be able to go with a group of people, even if her husband doesn't want to go. So, and she can still feel safe in a community. That is what we're offering people. And so that is just one of the main things I wanted to put. Also, form when you're inviting people and you're trying to qualify them, or not even qualify them, but find out, like for my aunt, I was able to figure out what was important for her. A motivator for her was she wanted to go to Scotland. And but her problem was that she didn't have people to go with. So, or she didn't know how she was going to be able to go. But if you're ever trying to figure out what can I talk to people about, think of form, FORM. That is, you can talk about their family. And this is what you can do whenever you reach out to people, even if they're strangers. But anytime you're talking to somebody, try to mentally get these four things known so that when you get them to the presentation, you know what's going to be most important to them so you can equip the presenter with some knowledge ahead of time so they can say the keywords that is going to make the people want to take action because they don't care unless they see that you're talking directly to them. And so we got to give them that ammo. So form, family, talk about their family. Occupation is what do they do for a living? How do they make their money? What uh, what is the biggest thing that they spend their time doing? R is recreation. What do they do for fun? What lights them up? What would they do if they didn't have to work? And then we have M, which is motivation or money. Now, motivation, it does not everybody is motivated by money. And that's why we have both of those because some people if it's a situation where they're like, I just need more money because I need to do X, Y, and Z. It's usually, I need money so I can do something else. It's not that we want the money itself because we automatically trade the money for whatever it is we're actually trying to get. So if you can highlight what they're trying to get instead of just highlighting the money, it's going to have more weight in their mind. So those are some of the things that I think is very important. There are a couple of books that I would suggest you read. But before I even give you books, honestly, just get on the Inner Circle. Download the app if you haven't already and actually start going down through it. I downloaded it the moment that I heard it existed. And they have a section. I have the section actually pulled up. Let me see what the name of it is. But you want to go and look at all of the videos. And honestly, don't have the app just when you download it, don't leave it on the last page. Add it to your home screen, make it prominent. And if you're really feeling gutsy, make it so that it's on your home screen. And then Facebook, Instagram, all your other social media apps, they have to be on the other side. So when you first turn on your phone, you see Inner Circle first. So instead of us being triggered by seeing notifications from other apps or the app, the lot logo or icon itself, to actually click into that and start scrolling, we'll be triggered to look at the Inner Circle. Because once you post on there and when you get in there, introduce yourself, fill out your profile, be interactive with it. And the training by topics is the section that I think is the most valuable to start with. Of course, getting to know some of the other things is nice and all, like, but honestly, I looked at their first 24 hours. First 24 hours, you don't have to watch it on the first 24 hours. In my personal opinion, I do not speak for Viago, but honestly, you heard the majority of that at the event. There were some cool little extra stories in there if you want to learn more about the founder and his like backstory, which was kind of crazy. But as far as getting to know the meat and potatoes of what this business is about, go through the trainings that are actually in the training by topics. And then you actually need to click on it so that you can see what is going on in that. Because if you just scroll, it only shows you the first few of them. So you want to actually click into it and then just it has it by steps. The steps are they have promoting events, compensation plan, testimonies, closing, travel parties, the colors, three-way text, launching a new biz launching a new ambassador, making a list, three-step setup, the basics, how to build. So that is going to give you like if there's something specific that you want to know, go straight to that. You don't have to necessarily watch them in order. Watch them in a way that's going to make sense to you and what you need to do. But you definitely want to make sure you have your list going together. You want to know the basics is pretty good. But like I said, they taught us a lot of this stuff. The colors, what they have on there, they basically told us at the event. Compensation plan, watch it. Watch it, watch it, watch it. You're going to probably have to watch that multiple times. So when you're watching it the first time, take notes, pause it and take notes because there's a lot of things I didn't know and it's still a little like technical. It's making more sense the more that I'm in here and the more that I'm exposed to it, but it's going to help you out. But above all else, as you're looking at this information, really be a student of the presentations that you're going to right now. Watch how the presenters use their body language, how they engage with the audience. Roy does a lot of call and response, which is one of the things that the great speakers do, as well as pastors, and they do that because it ingrains the information into the person's mind. So pick up on those little things. Pick up on how they use infuse humor into what they do. Pick up on the pauses, what they emphasize on, where they listen to the questions that are asked at the end of the presentations. The more you go to, the more you're going to see the same questions typically get asked. And if we see that the same questions keep getting asked, then we know that in the presentation there might be something that we need to hit on a little bit more so that we can knock out those same questions being asked. We also want to start developing our stories. We need to practice and get down packed our 30-second introductions of ourselves because we don't have all day. And the more that our team grows, the more that we're going to want to have more people be able to introduce themselves. And so, that being said, you want your name, and I forgot to do this the other day, but it's your name, where you're from, your occupation, and how this business has affected you. If you first, if a lot of us are new, so it could be like what made us decide this is what we need to be, why we need to be here. Have a couple of different things that you could talk about, like you can have a long version of your talk, but you need to be able to edit that down based on the room and who's there. If we're in the room and we find out that there are people who maybe they have certain questions and you had an experience of as to why you were there that is applicable or relatable to the questions that you heard come up from some of the people, use that in your messaging. I like to bring up the fact that I joined because I realized I bought a vacation package for a crazy amount, $1,700, and I could have probably got 3 vacations from Viago for the same amount and got to do more. So that was me hitting on the people who were like, well, I could always just do this later. Because it shows, look, you could do this later, but if you try to just travel without Viago, you're going to spend way more money doing things you already wanted to do. So just try to think about how you can be relatable. The other thing, let me see, I had a one page and then I'll open up the floor. But yeah, we definitely want to bet on yourselves, make your list. Don't be afraid of going down it. And then also, let's see if I can find it. Remember, you're not going to die if people say no. And even the people that you're afraid of talking, my acting mentor used to tell me everybody poops. Everyone gets stomach aches. Everybody has bad days. So even if someone feels a little agitated, don't take it personal. I don't have the first agreements, but this is the fifth agreement that I'm reading right now. But there's a book called The Four Agreements, same author, where it has these amazing rules for being able to live life and not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like a key to unlocking your life in a way that takes you out of the dream world and into the creator seat. And just those four agreements are you want to be impeccable with your word, which means you want to speak with integrity, say what you mean, don't use words that speak against yourself or gossip about others. You want to use your words to inspire, to uplift, to show love. And if you're that type of person who's, all about love and inclusion and just making people feel good and believe in themselves, the right type of people are going to be drawn to you. Secondly, don't take anything personally. This means you don't want to let what other people say, or if they don't want to join you, it's not a personal stab. It usually shows more about them and the trauma that they've had in their own life. A lot of times people don't like to say that I've been hurt by something. The majority of people who say no is because they've been burnt by another business or they have a loved one that was burnt by another business. So don't take what others people do or say as a personal jab at you. Also, don't make assumptions. Just because someone doesn't answer your text doesn't mean they think you're stupid. Just because someone doesn't show up after they say they will does not mean that they reneged and they don't like you. Maybe their car broke down. Maybe something happened. Maybe they got there and then they felt uncomfortable. Or if they get there and then they don't say anything, we can't assume what's going on in somebody else's head. We don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. So I always say, let's imagine the best. I give people the benefit of the doubt because you can take the same energy of thinking the worst and using it to think the best. And if you think the best, you put your energy into creating the best, which can also affect the other person's mood. So even if they were possibly negative before, it's going to turn a little bit more positive. You actually can alchemize their mood and their emotion when they get into your environment, into your energy field. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then lastly, just always do your best. Your best is going to change from day to day. I was feeling a little bummed out that I didn't have the energy to go and make it to the meeting earlier, but I realized, you know what? That's okay. Some days you're going to feel it. Some days you're not. Some days you're going to be able to make it to all of the meetings, talk to all the people. Some days you're going to need to rest. You know, there's a reason why they said, on the seventh day God rested. We're allowed to rest at times too. So yes, we are running, but we also do not want to burn ourselves out. So find out how much time you can actually take to building this business. Find out what is your golden hour of hours that you want to work? Which days can you do presentations? And then get that information to us. Put it in the group chat. Let us know what your schedule is. And then, so because if you say, hey, I'm going to be at work at X, Y, and Z on these days, and I'm not going to be able to check my phone, I don't want you to feel guilty if, you come back to your phone and you see 20, 30 messages, you know. So it's not something where we're like, oh, we're going to be mad at you. We're never going to be mad at you for having to live your own life. Your life comes first. This business is an addition to your life. So let it be that. But also know that this is something that can be leveraged. So even if you do have those working days, still make that list because then you can give your list to Ray, to Roy, to us, and those calls may still be able to be made. Or on your lunch break, send out a text. I'll make a text and then I'll just change the first name of whoever it is that I'm talking to. And I'll blast it out to people, invite them to the events. And then even if you're not able to be there, don't tell them you're not going to be there. Invite them to the event. And then maybe 5 minutes before, tell them to text you when they get there. And then when they get there, be like, oh man, yeah, sorry, I'm actually not going to be able to make it tonight, but I got you in good hands. You were going to be able to see, Adam, Roy, whoever's going to be actually doing the meeting. They know all about this. They're going to be able to answer more questions than I ever would be able to. So and when you're done, text me and I'd love to know what you love most about it. Assume the sale. Don't say, I want to know what you think. You're wanting them to tell you what they liked most about it at the end of it. So that way they'll still actually show up even if you're not there. Same with Zooms. But yeah, those are just some little tips that I think would be very beneficial for people. I can't remember if there's anything else that I am missing out on, but I hope that helped out. So floor is open.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like I couldn't write notes fast enough. It's given you need a worksheet. Like it was so good, so beneficial. And wait, what? Oh, oh am I talking loud? Oh, I have that habit of talking really loud. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, I definitely took a ton of notes and I'm like, I was telling my friend, I'm so happy you're on the team. Like you're so resourceful. So thank you for taking time out to share. A lot of great stuff was said.
You're welcome. And I'll get this recording too. I'll put this recording on YouTube as a private event and I'll put the link into the group chat as well.
Awesome, awesome. Indeed. Give thanks for that and your due diligence and presenting that. Thank you. And yes, I am very excited, uplifted. I'm thankful for the call, thankful for that I was able to uh, be answer the call and to have met many people over these past few days past. Um, yes, just looking forward and to grow, to build, and to be abundantly prosperous. And that is with everything uh, to be a benefit for others,
Mm,
um, that they can also have an experience of living life as they would want and or desire. So I definitely would like to, I have to study this, everything that you share. And if there is a worksheet or to that degree. So those things really help me. They will really help me. My confidence, I can speak to people, but I know this is something new. I know how, not attempting to sell anything. I'm just absolutely presenting something that uh, either a hard yes or a hard no, right? And yes, it's nothing taken. However, we continue to move forward and we continue to live life and be joyous doing so. So thank you again, for all of you and gratitude. And so
you're
I
welcome.
give
And I'll
thanks.
see what I can do about that worksheet. I can take this and I do have a program that can transcribe video, so I can take this, transcribe it, and see if I can make a sheet, just some sort of memory jogger of the key points that I said too.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
And Dom, he be throwing down, boy. He be throwing down.
And I just ate a whole platter and half a tassili. Um, Laura, that was incredible. I know that's what you do, so I just settled in and leaned back, just sort of and settled into it. I wasn't expecting that at the same in the same breath though. Um, but hey, when somebody's got it, you got to let them flow. You got it. You got that. So I'm a lot of things were coming to me like just going ahead and offering you to officiate, these kind of meetings just to keep everybody's mental in line. I would say to refer to your notes more to make it like uh so it's not it's like you're just hitting the general bullet points like boom, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You throw your sauce in it, boom, 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 boom. Here's some of my sauce with it, but actually recapping those detailed notes that everybody um, we're taking notes on. So while you're referring to your notes, we're referring to our notes. And then, but yeah, that was excellent. But I also want to make sure we get in there where we have a section that deals with the membership, details of the membership. Uh, I'm gonna be bringing in one or two of our leaders into these meetings where they can share their screen and walk us through stuff, like they did last night after that gathering. Michelle was able to just take 30 minutes and just go over the whole um, payout schedule, little tips and tax. Um, we set up our bank. We ordered our Viago debit card, all of that stuff. So these are things to
Us,
look forward to.
us, indeed.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's why these meetings are so important because it's things that we should have gotten the day we signed up. But due to the momentum, we just weren't able to do that. So I'm taking these steps to hold everybody accountable to get this information.
Absolutely. And I love that because like you said, I was not able to stay there that to wherever whenever they did that part. So I am definitely curious about looking at that. I did find in my back office some of these things you also gotta just sign in and play around with, click all the buttons, see what you can do, take the initiative because someone can walk us through them step by step. But at the end of the day, this is our business. So we all have to be self-starters. And we cannot expect someone to do everything for us, even though we're leveraging their time, but they aren't living our life. So they said, who holds the clicker makes the money, which is why I'm doing my best to be able to get to the point where I can eventually do the presentations myself. But we have to watch enough presentations in order to get to that point and get to the point where we even know where the heck these PowerPoints are located. So that's what I'm going to be asking tonight because I've been looking all over and I can't find where this information is kept. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have notes that I can read through, but I know that everybody else was out. So I think that when we do a meeting where we give enough people some heads up so they can actually gather their notes, it'll be more beneficial so that everyone can actually have them in front of us. And even though we may do spur of the moment meetings with guests, and it seems spur of the moment to them, I think moving forward, it would be most beneficial for all of our mental capacity if we plan the days that we're going to be doing the meetings, which this is all still very new. It's the first, full week since we're not even a full week since the convention. Um, so I know that things are still being worked out, but once we can get those schedules set to have some sort of regularity, I know that I am going to be doing meetings at my house too. But if we can start putting in the chat like days that we're open to hosting meetings at our house or at our space, how many people we think we can fit in there? Do we have a TV already for a presentation, or would Roy need to bring his? And if we have a TV, do we have the HDMI cable? If we're trying to have them not bring stuff. But also, how many chairs do you have? That kind of thing. And what side of town you live on. I think that's a big part too. So being able to put those kinds of things in the chat, and even though we're going to be putting them in the chat, it's not going to live in the chat. I say we have a team spreadsheet so we can see name, email, phone number, location of where they're at. Like if they don't want to put their full address, at least let us know like the city, the general area, so that when we're looking at these presentations and stuff, then we kind of have an idea, okay, well, you know, we know y'all are downtown. Well, y'all are West End. I'm in Fairburn. Um, Ravens downtown. So it's like being able to get the logistics. So like if we have someone who joins from like Tucker, we know the person from Tucker probably would be more apt to want to go to somebody. Daisha, you live in Sandy Springs, I think you said. Um, so it's like mystical person who lives in Tucker may rather go to Dacia's or, the downtown than go to something that I'm hosting because I'm in Fairburn. Like we want to just be mindful of being able to, we know we got a whole team in Riverdale. Like, so just being able to get our areas marked out, I think that's going to be very beneficial for us all.
I share.
And we can do that in a Google Drive as well, because then we can just put people's emails in it and then it's shareable and editable.
So yeah, let's pin that down. Tonight we need to really be asking each of us what day of the week what day and time we need to do these meetings and where to find certain videos, when are the Zoom calls. I think Michelle said that
I
Tuesdays
think
and Thursdays,
2 and
Sundays,
7.
something like that. So we need to get clarity on that. And yeah,
Sweet.
there's also something I do in my text messages when I open my text message app and I see a group chat. I'll hold it down, and then the options pop up, and it allows you to pin the group chat to the top of the text messages so that you'll always see when it is active. That way it won't get lost in all your other text messages. It will stay at the top. I encourage everybody to do that.
Let's see if that actually works.
Got like 8 of them at the top of mine. Yeah. And you can do
Yeah.
the same thing on WhatsApp.
Okay, I may have to do it from the WhatsApp because I primarily use Google Voice when it comes to all of my texting because when I move phones, I don't lose my text messages. If I had it from my normal one, then I lose all my text messages. So unfortunately, I'm not able to pin it like that, but that is a great tip for people who can do that. So awesome.
Also, Daisha, unmute. I know,
Brother,
I know, I know it's,
sorry, we need to talk because
I can't hear anything because somebody's talking.
you can't hear?
Yeah, I can hear. It's just somebody's talking real loud, so it sounds like they're on the call.
Oh, let me step away from the tables. Okay, now you should be able to hear me.
Okay.
Walking out of the restaurant.
I know a sister got to eat. How much did you just pay for that meal?
I just paid $23.
All right. So I don't even know a nice way to say this, but
No, I know.
Why
I
not
know.
live on wraps alone, Adam?
but I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's all about budgeting.
And I feel you, brother. Listen. Brother, listen, I talked to Sasha. I said, what are we to do? I said, we just spent the night at Apple's house for the first night. I just spent the night the first night in my apartment. Whoop, whoop, last night. I Ubered till 3:30 in the morning. I slept. I woke up. I Ubered until I was so hungry. We don't even have a fork, a knife, a spoon. So I'm like, the money to buy a one pot, to buy those things. I'm hungry right now. I was like, so she was like, boom. She was like, look, Daisha, we'll go to Plan to Catch a Lunch special. She was like, we'll go to Plan to Catch a Lunch special. We'll go to the Goodwill after we leave here. We're going to go to the Goodwill, get a pot, a frying pan, and utensils. That way that's going to, and then go grocery shopping. But I already know, this is not me. Trust me. All this eating out is not me. But, whew, I feel like I've been running down here.
Sasha, I'm so glad that I can nourish you.
Oh, Sasha, I walked away. Now I'm sitting here. She's at the restaurant.
Oh, this Daisha? Okay,
This is
Daisha. My
Daisha.
bad. I meant to say Daisha. Daisha, I'm
Yes.
so glad I can nourish you.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor. And, I'm grateful. It's a testimony that you can survive off of my food,
Seriously, one wrap a day takes us for 2. I just ate the other wrap for dinner.
See,
One
for
whole
two
wrap.
people.
It's feeds 2 people.
See, I need that testimony. And like I told you, if you ever get to a point where you don't have the money, just listen. If you don't have the money, you can reach out and I will take care of it for you.
Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. Times is changing. Listen.
I know they are, and I know you wouldn't abuse it, which is
No,
why I said you can reach out. If you're over in the area and you need to eat and your money is tight, you're trying to budget, I got you.
thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. I truly do. I truly, truly do. Yeah. I'm Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, hopefully, I'm gonna go. Like I said, go to the store, get some cooking supplies. And had I been thinking, my mama has all the cooking supplies you could ever need. And I would have took a pan, a pot, just to get it started. But I wasn't even thinking when I left. at 5 a.m. to come to the seminar there the Saturday morning. I left everything, even a towel. I went to take a. I said, "Where's the towels at?" Oh yeah, this is the new spot. So it's just those little small things. So yeah, I feel
Those
you
are things
guys.
you have to ask.
Adam, huh?
Those are the things you have to ask us for. Like when you over all of our houses and stuff, and you just have to be vulnerable and say, hey, everybody's got an extra pot, an extra towel, and this and that. You put all that little stuff together and you're straight. I mean, this is a community, so
Yeah,
you got
that's
to
right.
tell us what you need.
Yeah, that's right. It's things I didn't think about until I went to go reach for it. I'm like, oh, let me go buy this. But yeah, it's for sure, 100%, 100%. So, uh, this time next week I should be a member in the name of Jesus. It's all coming together. So, um, yeah, thank you guys for the community and for everything else. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Well, you're already a member. You said
Oh,
you're the
100%.
most, you said, I love what you said the other day. You are the most official, unofficial.
Listen, I mean it. The way I tried to
We
recruit
know you
Apple
do.
in passing, I said, but then she said a Dom text her about something. I said, oh, okay, let me just let it rest. I'm recruiting, okay? So yes, ma'am, I'm the most official unofficial member. So
Yeah.
yeah, once I get my things from London, all this will be, like I said, dissipated so quickly. I've never tried to jump on a business endeavor in the midst of a move transition. That's my predicament. If I wasn't trying to do nothing else, I would be straight, but it's all good. It's working itself out, truly and indeed.
Well,
Yeah.
we respect your hustle.
Yeah.
We respect your commitment because you don't have to do any of what you're doing.
I don't. My
Right.
mom's like, well, I thought you was just getting your $5,000 to move your stuff from London. Now you're doing a business. She's like, Daisha, why can't keep up? I said, Mom, just trust me. I know there's some additional, but just trust me on this. I promise I'm not all over the place. This is just,
You
you
do.
know, just trust me. So yeah, God is good. This is a testimony, and I can't wait. It's coming to full circle before my eyes. It truly, truly is. So yeah. I know Laura has her meeting coming up in the next 55 minutes. So I'm not going to take the floor too much longer, but
And Candace would
Uh,
hop on right at the end. But
right.
I will I can either I can stop this recording and then start a new one in case Candace or anything is said,
oh,
you know, while she's on. I am gonna have to, and I can just mute myself because I got to send out some text blasts to get people in an email actually to my email list to invite people to my event tonight. So I do need to do that. But if anybody wants to still have discussion, then I can leave this open for a little longer too. Candace, we did have a bit of a meeting. I went over some things. We all shared a little bit, but we are going to have more of these. I am going to put this link to what was all shared beforehand in the group chat so that everybody can have it. And I know that we will schedule a more official team call where we can actually take, maybe 3 minutes and everyone go around and share their why so that we all know each other's why. I think that'll also help with building the community as well. So, um, but that's not something that I feel like we should probably do today because I feel like that's something that we should have everybody on for. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
yes, yes.
Yes.
So yeah. We have a presentation tonight at 9 p.m. Then we have a team building at 10 p.m., which is Zoom optional. I encourage everybody to try to get on that 10 o'clock. If you can, come to the 9 o'clock. It's downtown near the hotel we were at Raven's house. and then we'll go right into the team building at 10 o'clock. Some things Laura went over, Candace, were just a lot of motivating topics and points about network marketing, about what we experienced over the weekend. Um, it's hard to regurgitate everything she said, but it's one of those things you just had to be here to hear. So Candace has her own business that she had to be in attendance to certain times, so she wasn't able to make it for this call, but we're going to discuss setting up a day and time every week that we can communicate with each other, keep each other.
So I'm gonna iterate because I got a crew with me today. I'm extremely busy, and I pretty much know how Viago goes, so I don't really need a lot of prepping, or I'm very self-motivated. I actually have 3 businesses, and I teach twice a week. I'm extremely busy, so I won't be able. Hey! Mommy's on a call. And on top of that, I got a very busy superstar in which I am momager to. So I'm just gonna be honest. I'll be able to pop in and out, but when it comes to like really being on a lot of calls and stuff, when I say I had 5 meetings today, y'all are being rude. What I just say? I had 5 meetings today, on top of me having to teach from 1 to 6. And then I still have tax returns and other work to do. So my people are gonna come. I'm gonna send them. I'm gonna continue to sign people up. I'm gonna be a part, and I'm gonna take my trips. But I just wanted to go pop in and let you guys know transparently, like my schedule is full when it comes to adding any extra weekly meetings. Like I have board meetings every week, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I have a lot. So I will be here when I can.
Okay, gotcha. That's fair. Thank you for your transparency.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Because she's a boss.
Thank you.
She's
Love
a
y'all.
boss.
Thank you,
And,
Mama T. Love you.
and definitely understand that, Candace, and just know that the presentations are getting dialed into, so they can be a lot shorter. So when you are able to hop on, just let us know what we mentioned earlier.
Or if
The
you have
days that
recordings,
you, huh?
if you record them, I'm usually up most days to about 2 a.m. Or I can do it when I'm working out. I can, hey y'all, hey, just a few more minutes. If you record them, I can go back and listen to them when I'm working out, doing my yoga, or just when I'm doing other things.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to
So,
do, like this meeting right here, I'm going to put it on YouTube, with a
okay,
private unlisted link. Send it to
okay,
the group so then you can listen to those. Any of our meetings, I'll make sure that we all get them recorded so that we can start having an archive of them so you can go back and listen to them. And then of course the presentations, you make your list, you send your people to us. When you're working, doing your things, we'll handle them.
perfect. Sounds great. Thank you, Laura.
You're
And
welcome.
disregard my spiel at the end. Don't you worry. We got it all personal, but don't worry. That's not a part of Viago. That's just me sharing my situation. If it's in the recording, okay?
I'll love Queen. I'll love.
Nice. All right. So, is there anything else anybody wants to add in right before I end this recording? Or are all minds and hearts cleared?
Yeah, we love you.
Awesome. Love you all too.
Yes, indeed.
All
Bye,
right. Be
love.
blessed.
I
Stay
love you guys.
legendary.
Peace. Blessings.
Peace. Sasha, Deja, I'll see you tonight. And I'll see all of y'all even later tonight on the Zoom. All right. Bye.
Yes.